America Chavez can activate parallel dimensions using her heavy attack. The heavy attack has 3 different hits, and each hit will switch the dormant dimension. When the heavy attack ends, or if launching a special attack after one of the hits, it will activate that dimension for 30 seconds. Following up, the first hit of a heavy attack with a special attack will activate Utopian Parallel, which will reduce the opponent's Fury, Armor Up, Precision, and Cruelty buff potency by 70%. Using a special after the second hit will activate Dark Dimension, which will reflect 40% of hit damage taken as energy damage. This damage level is capped based on the rank and level of your character. Finally, letting the heavy attack finish, or activating a special following the last attack, will activate the negative zone, which will reduce the opponent's ability power gain rate by 60%. All of these parallel dimensions can be stacked, but matching dimensions will suffer a negative 20% duration for each stack. If America Chavez is affected by a Wither debuff, it will remove the most recently activated parallel dimension. And if using her for defense, after 2 active stacks, she will then activate 1 random unopened dimension. America Chavez will gain an increased attack rating and energy resistance based on her level for each unique parallel dimension on America Chavez and for each buff on the opponent. This has a max of 9 stacks. Charging a heavy attack after landing any non-combo ending hit of a basic attack combo will inflict a passive stun for 0.75 seconds. Heavy attacks launched this way generate 25% less power on hit. This is very similar to how Wasp can activate her heavy attack as well. For each unique parallel dimension active during Special Attack 1, you will create a passive power gain effect generating 40% of a bar of power over 1.5 seconds. The final 3 hits of Special Attack 2 opens a portal to an additional Big Bang dimension, dealing a burst of energy damage equal to 50% hit damage dealt. The final 3 hits also gain a bonus effect based on the last dimension activated. For the Utopian Parallel, you will deal an additional amount of damage on hit. For Dark Dimension, you will regenerate 12% of hit damage dealt, and the negative zone makes this attack unblockable. Using the Special Attack 3, America Chavez will activate 1 of each parallel dimension. If an awakened America Chavez has at least 3 unique dimensions active, she will become supercharged. When supercharged, launching a Special Attack 2 during a heavy attack provides +1 stack of whichever dimension was recently activated. In addition, she will gain between 12 to 50% dimension energy infusion potency. Playing America Chavez is fairly simple and straightforward. You will find that at the beginning of the fight, you will not be able to activate any other parallel dimension other than the negative zone. This is because you must be able to throw a special attack in order to cancel your heavy attack. She is very effective against champions who gain power gain through buffs. So you can see here against Hyperion, she is really just wrecking his power gain rate, and actually he is losing power, and you'll eventually see he will get down to 0 bars of power if you keep using the negative zone parallel dimension. In addition, using the negative zone also allows your special 2 to become unblockable, and out of all of the different abilities for the special 2, this is probably the most desirable, unless you are taking a lot of damage and you need to regenerate, in which case you will want to throw the special 2 after using 2 hits of the heavy attack and then canceling into your special 2. This will regenerate 12% of hit damage dealt. The 2 basic strategies to using America Chavez is to 1, use her with simply parry and heavy attacks, and using this I typically go for the negative zone with a 3-hit heavy attack. I didn't find myself using the other heavy attack components too often unless I was just trying to gain power to get to my special 2. which is really what they are useful for. There's not a whole lot of extra usefulness for her special 2 bonuses other than the Unblockable. However, when you're using the special 1 with other parallel dimensions active for each unique one, she will gain her power rate. This is to make up for her lack of ability to nullify or stagger an opponent, making Mystic Dispersion very useful for gaining power with Mystic Champions. Since she can't use this, she has to use the special 1 ability linked to her parallel dimensions. The other basic way to use her, instead of using your parry heavy, is to use your 3 to 4 hit combos and then end by charging a heavy attack, canceling your combo. Very similar to how you would play Wasp. Now when you do this, the heavy attack does generate less power for the opponent, and just depending on your playstyle, you can use either one, just depending on how the match is going. I still normally found myself just doing a normal parry and heavy. Overall, I do not find America Chavez to be an overall beefy character. She doesn't deal a ginormous amount of damage. She doesn't have an exceptional amount of utility, but she is very easy to play and is one of the best power control champions when it comes to other champions that will gain passive power gain. I do not find her special 3 overall useful and did not find myself using it that often. It also does not seem that she needs to be awakened in order to be an excellent champ. I mean, she's already fairly good the way she is, but overall she's not the best champion. She's definitely not God tier or beyond God tier, except in those very specific fights where there is passive power gain. If you have a fight like this, absolutely this would be my #1 pick to take in, because unlike a stagger or a nullify that might have to be timed, she can simply make sure that they are not going to gain power, and in fact she can take away their power simply by using a heavy attack. So she is exceptionally good in the right situation against passive power gain, but in other fights I did find her just to be a very mid-tier champion, nothing overly special about her. However, I will say she is very easy to use, very easy to get a handle on her gameplay, and honestly she is very fun to use as well.